report at the beginning. But what we did is we went through each problem, numbers 1 through 8, and we wrote down all of the answers that we got in this classroom. That's what the red numbers are. So let's start with number 1. Number 1, I have 12, and then I'm adding a -3 to it. So let's see. How many of you think the answer is 9? Raise your hand. Many of us. How many of you think it's 15?
It's me.
Some of us. Okay. Can either side defend their answer and explain why they think it's 15 or why they think it's 9? Go ahead. Are you raising your hand? Perfect. Yes, go ahead. Tell me, what did you get, 15 or 9?
9.
You got 9. So how'd you get 9?
Because 12 is the bigger number, so it turned it into subtraction.
Yep.
Yes. So we have a problem where we are adding a positive number and a negative number. When we have numbers that we add together and the signs are different, we're going to subtract. We repeated this yesterday as well. When you add a negative, you're just subtracting. It's the same thing as 12 minus 3. So 12 minus 3 is what? 9. So 9 is the correct answer. Now, can someone who got 15, would you feel brave enough to explain how you got 15 and we can talk about it? Go ahead, yes.
I didn't do anything. I made the little.
The number line?
Yeah, I made it, but I didn't go back and forth. I tried to, but then I just added the 12 and the 3. And that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So,
I did make the number line though, but I didn't follow through with it.
And you know what? That's
okay.
okay.
That part.
So let's look at that number line and remind ourselves how we use it. So we have our number line. And what's our starting number? What are we starting with? 12. So let's just put 12 here. We got 12. Okay. And we are adding -3. If we add a positive number, we would move to the right. We'd go 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 14, 15. If this problem was 12 plus 3, you ladies would be correct. It would be 15. 12 plus 3 is 15. But when we have a negative number, it tells us to do the opposite. So instead of increasing our number, it's going to decrease it. It's going to make it smaller. So instead of moving towards the bigger numbers, we are moving backwards. 3, 12, 11, 10, 9. That would be our answer. We added -3 to get that. Okay. Does that make sense to you if you got 15 instead of 9? Do you have any questions about that one? Okay. So this rule never changes. If you add a negative, you're just subtracting. So let's think about number 2. We're doing the same thing here. 13 plus -10. What's happening here?
You're adding a -10.
You're adding a -10. So what am I really doing with 10?
Subtracting.
I'm subtracting. Good. So I could write this as 13 minus 10. 13 minus 10. What's 13 minus 10?
3.
It's 3. And I can see where we might have gotten 23. I'm assuming what you might have done is 13 plus 10. Is that what we did? Yes.
Yeah.
The 13 plus 10
Same
is
thing.
23, but this is a -10.
Yep, that's what I did.
Yes. So we just have to be careful with those
Okay,
negatives. So 3 is our
Got it.
answer. Okay. Let's look at number 3 now. -6 plus 2.
You start with the -6 and you move up 2 and you get -4.
Yeah. Let me draw that number line, okay? We are starting, I'm going to put a 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. That's our starting point. And we are adding positive 2. So we're gonna go forward 2, 1, 2. This is where our ending point would be. Now, whenever we have a number line, we're looking at it from 0, the positive numbers behave by counting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on and on and on. Negative numbers do the opposite. We go backwards. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. You can see when you go from -6, add 2, we land on -4. Right there. So -4 is our answer. Okay? And I think what happened for anybody to get 8, it looks like the same thing. 6 plus 2 is 8.
Yep.
But this is -6.
Yep.
So we subtract. We're kind of,
Positive, I guess, yeah.
yeah. We could also think of it this way. We could just do 6 minus 2 is 4. And since the negative is on the bigger number,
It's still gonna be negative
it
4.
takes the negative. Yes, yes. Perfect. So it's not 8, it's -4. Do you have any questions about that one? Okay. Now number 4, we have something a little different. We're adding 2 negatives.
Mhm.
So what happens here?
You do the addition and
You
bring
add
the
4.
negative with
Yes.
it.
Yes, you're just going to take 5 plus 4, and you know it's negative because they're both negative, right?
Yeah.
So what is 5 plus 4?
9.
9. Now, we know 5 plus 4 is 9, but -5 plus -4 is
Makes a positive 9.
negative 9. If we add 2 negative numbers, we're just going to get an even bigger negative number, okay? Do we have any questions about number 4? Any at all?
So yeah, so when
Yeah.
it's the sign is the same, you add it, you add them.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes,
Gotta make
yes.
a note of that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to number 5. Now we have subtraction problems. These are subtraction, so they're a little different. We have 10 minus -4. Can somebody tell me, what did I teach you yesterday about when you see 2 negatives next to each other?
Make it
They
positive.
attract,
Yes, they attract. These 2 negatives,
changes the sign.
we're going to just turn into a positive. It's a plus. This is the same thing as 10 plus 4. Weird, but it's true. It works. What's 10 plus 4?
14.
14 is the answer. And I see where we got some different numbers here.
Yeah, because I thought it was 10 minus 4.
So 10 minus -4.
Yeah.
Slightly different than 10 minus 4. So 10 minus 4 would be 6. Absolutely, that is correct. Let's look at this one on the number line real quick.
Please.
Okay, so
So if you get
our starting number is 10. 10. Okay, so 10 minus 4.
Oh, next one.
If we did 10 minus 4, we would go back 4, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 8, 7, 6. We would get 6 for 10 minus 4, but we have 10 minus -4. And remember, that negative tells us to do the opposite, to move in the opposite direction. So instead of going this way, we would go this way to the right. We would go 1, 2, 3, 4 and get 14. And these are tricky. These subtraction ones, especially subtracting a negative. I think sometimes getting into the theory of it and trying to reason what's happening can get us really confused. Sometimes I like to just get to know that trick and know, okay, 2 negatives right beside each other, plus, I'm just going to remember that. And we'll drill this today. We'll get us really good at it. Okay. Any questions on number 5? Yes.
So basically, This may sound stupid.
No.
If it's a positive and a negative number in a problem, the sign changes.
I don't want to tell you wrong. Let me think. Are you talking about when we're adding or when we're subtracting or
Well,
both?
when we was adding, they changed it to subtraction, and now it's
Yes.
changing it to addition.
Actually, I'm gonna say yes. Yes, that is a good way to think of it then. If I add a negative, like if I have 10 plus -4, I'm doing a little flipperoo here. I'm changing it. 10 plus -4 is the same thing as 10 minus 4.
Yeah, so you just blocking out the positive to make it a negative.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes. And then 10 minus -4,
Those two signs.
we
cancel
change it
each other.
again.
Yeah,
These turn into
positive.
positive 10 plus 4. Yeah, okay, so here's something to think about.
Yeah.
Plus and minus makes minus. Minus and minus makes plus. Different signs, we subtract. Same signs, we add. Kind of like that. That's a good thing to point out. I didn't even notice it when I was making these. So no, not a stupid thing to say. It's really smart to notice. Awesome. So you see that? Whenever we are adding a negative number, we have that plus minus. These are different signs. So to show they're different, we take a difference. Subtracting is finding a difference. So these are different, we find the difference. When we have signs that are the same, like minus minus, it becomes a plus. It becomes a plus. They're attracted, they jump on top of each other, it becomes a plus. Okay. All right. Let's look. Do you still need this? I can leave it up for a moment.
Make a mental note.
Yeah. And we were working on a key yesterday, like a guide to help us go back and check and remember. We didn't finish it. We'll finish that today. That way we have something to always look back on. And if you're like, what is the rule for this? We'll have it all written down right there. So, can I move this now? We ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, 15 minus 20. 5 and -5, which one is it?
-5.
Can somebody tell me why it would be -5?
Because the number of 20 is larger than 15.
Yes, 20 is bigger than 15. If I start with 15 and I take away 20, I'm taking away more than I have. If I take away more than I have, I am now in the negative. It's like if I have $15 on my debit card and I go spend 20 bucks at the store, I'm going to have a negative $5 balance. I'm going to owe money because I spent more than I had. So if you subtract more than the original number, you will always get a negative number. So, -5. What's happening here is we can think of it this way. We have a -20, we have a positive 15. I'm going to rearrange it and say, well, what's 20 minus 15?
5.
It's 5. But our bigger number, 20,
20.
has the minus sign on it. So our answer has the minus sign on it. If the bigger number has the minus sign, the answer has the minus sign. If the smaller number has the minus sign, then the answer doesn't keep it. And again, we're going to add all this to the guide once we finish these. Do we have any questions about this number 6 here, though?
I got no 6, right?
Could you just repeat that again?
Yes. So we did, my work's getting a little too mushed together. 15 minus 20. Okay, so we have positive 15, negative 20. What's bigger, 15 or 20? 20. Good. So whenever we are subtracting numbers, that, and I'm subtracting more than I have, 20 is bigger and it has the negative sign, my answer is gonna be negative because I'm taking away more than I have. It's also, let's see. I want to write it all out on that guide as well. I'm scared I'm going to confuse you if I say it wrong. When you're subtracting, if you're trying to subtract more than you have, part of that rule that we'll talk about in a moment is you can kind of flip-flop the numbers. I'm doing 20 minus 15 to get 5. But remember, in the original problem, which is this, the bigger number has the negative sign. 20 is bigger, it has the negative. If the bigger number is negative, the answer is negative. So -5 is our answer.
See, that's what we get confused.
Which part has got you a little confused here?
Because see, you saying that it's a -20,
Mm-hmm.
but it's supposed to be 15 minus 20.
Yes. So if I have 15 minus 20, remember subtracting is the same thing as
Yeah.
adding a negative. So we could think of it more like this.
Exactly.
15 plus -20. So we're just flip-flopping the rules even more. I've got a 15 and I've got a -20. I'm going to subtract them like I did here. 20 minus 15, I get 5. 20 is bigger. It's the negative. My answer becomes negative. I think I'm explaining this poorly, guys. Let's come back to this because I have something that's coming later that I think is going to help clear this up a little.
Okay.
And I think I don't want to make you more confused than we are. So we'll come right back to this. Let's look at number 7. -12 minus 4.
-16.
-16, -8, +8. So let's see. If I have -12 and I am subtracting 4, let's think of it how, if we subtract something, it's the same thing as adding a negative.
-8.
Right? So let's rewrite this. -12 plus -4. Adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting. You remember talking about that? Now let's do this one. -12 plus -4. What is that?
Positive 16.
Positive
Negative
16
negative.
or
Negative.
negative
That's right.
16.
I was confused myself.
That's okay. That's okay. -16. Remember, if we add 2 negatives, we're just adding and we're keeping the negative. This is a lot of rules. A lot of rules. This is probably, in my opinion, the hardest part of math is adding and subtracting negatives. It is so confusing for no reason. And luckily, I'm gonna tell you guys this, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of hope. What my intention, I guess, and what our plan together for yesterday, today, and what we've been working on is to try to gain some understanding of how we're getting these answers with the addition and subtraction. But know in the future, when you're taking quizzes and tests and things like that, you will have your calculator to fall back on. You can always type them in. So if we're struggling with this and it's really tough to grasp, I don't want anybody to be freaking out. You will be okay. You will. Okay. Okay, very last one for now. Let's look at number 8. This one is crazy. -6 minus -2. Who wants to explain it to me? What'd they do? Yes.
Your two negatives should cancel out each other and make it a positive.
Yes. Negative. Let's do -6
Yeah.
plus 2. Okay.
I had 4.
Oh, okay. So I'm starting with -6. And then I'm adding 2. Let's see.
You're gonna get
Here's my 0,
Negative.
-1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Here's my starting point at -6. If I'm adding 2, which way do I go?
-4, you go to your right.
1, 2, -4. That's my answer, -4. Do you have any questions about that one?
Part I got wrong was that, I had a positive for it.
Oh, okay. So this is another one where we can remember kind of what we talked about on number 6. Since 20 is bigger and it's got the minus sign, our answer is negative. 6 is bigger and it's got the minus sign now. So our answer is negative. So, okay. Okay. Whew. Take a breath. All right, guys, let's continue the notes we were doing yesterday. I'm gonna grab them from my files over here, and we are gonna just get that little key really solid. And hopefully we'll move on to something different today as well.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. So,
See if we got the same. I watched the video at home, so I got pretty good.
oh, good, good. All right, so I'm gonna put these up. This is what we were doing yesterday. We started this little chart about addition rules. Okay, so if you have those notes from yesterday, let's go ahead and pull them out. And let's add to them. Put some more in here. So, let's see. I'm gonna teach you something that's gonna help subtraction a lot. This is a little trick that I like to use. So I'm gonna write subtraction rules. So when we are subtracting, anytime that I'm gonna say in general, if the problem looks funky, if it looks difficult, meaning you've got a mixture of negative and positive numbers, this is where we can use this trick. And I am gonna write these 3 words. Keep, change,
Flip.
very close. You could say flip, I guess. I'm gonna say keep, change, change. Because we're not, you're thinking of like a fraction thing.
Oh.
Same, change, flip. That's whenever I wanna say when we divide fractions. But you're totally right. For subtraction, we're gonna write keep, change, change. And here's what that means. I'll show you.
You're close.
Keep, change, change. So let's say let's start with a problem where we have just two positive numbers, all right? We've got 10 minus 3. Okay, 10 minus 3. Keep, change means we're gonna keep 10 the same. We're gonna change the minus to a plus. We're gonna change positive 3 to negative 3. Now, when we have two positive numbers, this is something that is probably not super productive to do because 10 minus 3 is probably going to feel easier than 10 plus negative 3. Okay? 10 minus 3 is what? 7. Okay? If I do 10 plus negative 3, what will I get?
7.
7. Same thing. Same thing. Remember, subtracting is the same thing as adding a negative number. We keep the first one the same, change it to a plus, change it to a minus. Keep, change. Now, let me show you where this would actually be useful. Let's say we have seven minus negative 1. Keep the 7, change the minus. So here, 7 we keep, minus, change it. What are we changing it to?
Plus.
Plus. And then negative 1 we change to what? Positive 1. Keep, change. So 7 minus negative 1 is the same as 7 plus 1.
8.
8. Good. So 7 minus negative 1 is what? 8. It's just 8. It is 8. What about 10 minus negative 5?
5.
If we do the keep,
15.
change,
15.
we'll have 10, change the minus to what?
Plus.
Plus, change the minus to
Plus.
what? Plus, we don't have to necessarily write
Positive
plus.
Positive 5.
10 plus 5 is
15.
what? 15. So 10 minus negative 5 is
15.
15. These are the same. Okay. How about 12 minus negative 3?
13.
It will be 15. And let's look at why. Keep the 12, change minus to plus, change negative 3 to positive 3. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15. That's going to help us a little bit, guys. It's going to help us. Okay. We could do this with numbers of any sign, basically. Addition, you've got all these rules that we talked about the other day. Subtraction, we've got the keep, change. And once we've changed it to addition, we can just follow the addition rules up here that we have. What if I have, let's see, negative 3 minus 4. With keep, change, what's going to happen?
You keep the negative 3.
Good.
Change the minus to a plus. And make that negative 4.
Good. Keep it, change it. So negative 3 plus negative 4. Now we have a problem that we can follow these rules up here. We're adding 2 negatives. So what's our answer going to be?
You're going to get a negative.
Negative. So what's negative 3 plus negative 4?
7.
Yes. Now is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative 7. Good. Very good. How about -2 minus 6?
That's gonna be -4.
-4? -8? I don't know. Let's see.
Keep that.
Well, let's do keep, change, change.
Yeah, keep the 2,
Keep -2
change it to a plus,
plus
-6.
-6. What is -2 plus -6? We're adding two negatives.
8 negative.
-8. Good. This will take some practice. We will get so much of it. We will be great. Okay?
I have a question,
Yes.
I'm sorry. You want to change two things, or you want to change one?
On which one?
On the last two you did.
Okay,
So
so.
you said you kept the -3,
Mhm,
and then you changed the negative to a positive,
mhm.
but then you kept the -4. What'd you change?
Oh,
See,
okay.
that's where I was getting confused at too. When
Okay.
you were doing the other ones, because you was making the minus as a negative number.
Yes.
Instead of leaving it the minus side.
Maybe the way I'm talking about it isn't making sense.
Yeah.
I need to be
I'm
careful
confused.
with my
See, I thought that
words.
too.
No, thank you, please. I want you guys to tell me these things
Yeah.
because I can't read your minds. I want to know if I'm saying something that's making it more difficult to
Yeah.
understand. So let's see. This is where I might use parentheses. I've got -3 minus 4.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping the -3. I'm changing the minus to plus. I'm changing 4 to -4. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
No,
Okay. Well, let's see.
well, because in the beginning I thought it was -4.
Uh-huh.
And
So it's the same thing as plus -4. -4. Subtracting 4 is the same thing as adding -4. I think I'm speaking too far ahead. And I'm assuming that that knowledge is something you know, and I need to be teaching it to you. That's on me, and I don't want to go too far ahead. So let me be mindful of that. I will try my very best not to call this -4. This is minus +4. So that's on me. Minus +4, not -4. So I misspoke. Thank you for pointing it out.
so I was like, what?
No, it's okay. I promise you, it is me. It is not you.
Okay.
So, let's take a break from this for a moment. Let's take a break. Take a break. Oh. We're going to come back to it. But let's talk about a different operation. We're going to transition to something totally different right now. So I think we just need a moment to take a break from that. I am going to have you start a quick little page notes. And I want to make sure I'm watching the time. I still got 20 minutes with you guys. That's good. So I'm going to title this Pre-Algebra. One. This is day 3 notes. January.
Okay.
Okay. So, hmm. Let's look at a problem like this. What if I have 2 plus 4 times 3 minus 7? Okay. I'm not asking you to solve this right now. I'm just gonna have you write it down. And we're gonna talk about a super important concept that will come into play later. So you don't need to solve it yet. So let me ask you guys this. In mathematics, are you all familiar with or not familiar with the term operations?
I am.
Operations. Some aren't. Who's not? Never heard that. Okay, a few of us, and that's okay. Operations. Does anybody know what it is and feel confident that they can explain it? What is an operation in math?
The operation is the order that you do your answer. Like,
Yes, yes. There is an order to operations.
yeah,
So there's a special order that we do operations in.
parentheses.
The way that you,
Okay.
the way you solve the problem.
The way you solve the problem. I'm gonna say you ladies are both hitting right on it pretty well. So let's write here.
Ain't this word, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
It sure is. It sure is. So an operation is something you can do to a number. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Any of those things is an operation. Now, what you ladies are referring to is the order that you have to do operations in. That's the order of operations. So, when we have something like this, where we have multiple operations happening, let's look at it. We have a plus sign. Addition, that's one operation. We have 4 times 3. Multiplication, that's an operation. We have -7. Subtraction, that's an operation. There's 3 of them here. We need to know which one we have to do first.
You do
Because
times.
yeah,
You do your times
if
first.
we do this just from left to right, 2 plus 4, take that times 3, and then -7, we aren't going to get the right answer. We have to do things in a very certain order to get them done correctly. So, I'm going to have you write on your paper. I'm going to do it over here. P, E, and then I'm going to write MD like this because these are grouped together. MD, AS. And I'm going to tell you what these mean. So, if you notice, there is a poster board at the front of the room that says big and bold order of operations. And under that, you see PEMDAS. What does the P stand for on that poster?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. So that means when we see parentheses in a math problem, we want to do that first. We want to get rid of parentheses first. The next one says exponents. We're not worried about those right now. So we're going to skip over them. Next, we have M and D. What does that stand for?
Multiplication and division.
Good. Multiplication and division. Then we have A and S.
Add and subtract.
Add and subtract. Add and subtract. So, when we're looking at this problem here, what should we do first?
Times. And go.
Yes, we have 4 times 3. Let's do that first.
12.
So I'm going to circle this. I'm going to say 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. Is that my answer? Am I done?
No.
No. So what do I need to do now to
You bring
keep
down
track?
your plus sign and your 2.
Yes, let's bring everything down. We still have 2 plus 12.
Minus 7.
14.
Good. And then -7. 2 plus 12, I heard you say it, 14.
14.
So 2 plus 12 is 14. Are we done?
Minus 7.
No, we still have -7. 14 minus 7?
It's 7.
7. That would be our answer. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. How about Let's get a tricky one.
Yeah.
What if I gave you 5 minus 2 plus 6 4 plus 1. That's a long one. 5 minus 2 plus 6 times 4 plus 1. What would I do first according to my order of operations?
Times.
Times. We're gonna multiply. What numbers do we multiply?
12
and
and
4.
6.
Yeah, 6 times 4.
6 times 4 is 24.
24. Good. Okay. What do we do next?
You bring everything down.
Yes, bring everything down. I still have 5 minus 2 plus 24 now. So 5 minus 2 plus 24
Plus 1.
plus 1. Thank you. Okay.
That'd be 27 minus 5.
What would be 27?
You'll add your 24 plus 2 plus 1.
Oh, okay. So we're doing the addition first?
Yeah.
You could do addition first, absolutely. Absolutely. We could also do just in order from left to right. Addition and subtraction are grouped together, meaning we just do that as a group from left to right. We don't have to do addition first, but I don't know that it would affect our answer or not. Let's see if it was. I'm gonna try it the way that I've been taught.
It'd be 28.
So you're gonna get 3 plus 24 plus 1.
Yeah, which that should give us the same, shouldn't it? So let's see. What's 5 minus 2?
3.
3. We'll bring everything down. Plus 24
Plus 1.
plus 1. What's 3 plus 24?
27.
27
Plus 1.
plus 1.
28.
28. Beautiful. And let's check that other method. Yeah, 24 plus 2 plus 1.
Still 28.
Still 28.
Yeah, it is. Very nice. Actually, ooh,
No, that'd be different.
it
It'd be
would be
23.
different. Let's see. If I did, let's see, 5 minus 2. Plus 1. Okay, so you did
I added all 3 of those.
I came up
Which
with
is
28.
27
2 plus 24 plus 1 is 27.
minus 5.
Ooh, but is it minus 5?
It's a plus 5.
Nope.
It is
It's
a
minus-
positive 5, and it's actually minus 2.
And
So we're
minus
taking
3.
away 2. So
No.
that wouldn't
No.
work.
Because if you added the 24 plus the 2 plus 1, that cancels all of that out. It leaves net minus
Yeah.
5.
24
Yeah. Plus 1.
plus
Plus 2.
1, but it tells us minus 2, not plus
It's 3.
2.
Yep.
It tells us to subtract 2.
Right.
I would add 5, 25, 5, 24, and 1 to minus the 2.
That should be 23.
23. It
Yeah.
could be. You're right. You are correct. 24 plus 1 is 25.
Plus 3
Minus
is 28.
2 is 23. Plus 5 is 28.
Yeah.
Good work.
That's what
Good
I'm saying.
work.
Either way,
We just would have to make sure we're not adding 2.
Yeah.
We'd have to subtract 2. Okay. Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Good ideas, guys. Woo.
Brain goes now.
I swear. I'm gonna have to regroup today. That should have been something.
Yeah.
All right. I am gonna give you a little mini exit ticket. It's gonna be 2 problems, real quick. Remember, this will be due Friday. So hopefully I'll start making more sense tomorrow. I don't know what is wrong with me today, guys. It's just been a day. So this is day 3. Exit ticket. Okay, and I want you to answer the following questions below. So we have one where we're gonna do 12 plus -10. That's gonna be it for number one. Number two is to -3 plus 6 times 2. That's it, just those two, okay? That's it. When you are done, you're welcome to turn it in up at the front of the room. I'm gonna make copies of this for anybody that was not here today, so if any of you would like a copy,
Put our names on it.
yes, put your name on it and put it up in the bin. I'll have it graded and ready for you for tomorrow. And this is just due by Friday, January 17th. That's what I'll do.
I have a question.
Yes.
What are the answers for 1 and 2?
I don't know. I don't
Come
know.
on.
You gotta find them.
You said you didn't get it. I haven't. You were ill.
Alright, that is all. I'm gonna end that there.